Hi there, this is Allison with Let's Go Travel Tips. Today is Wednesday, it's August 10th of 2022, and like I always say, we have so much to talk about. So I want to start off with the sadder news and then end on a happier note. So let's go ahead and talk about everything. So the first thing that I wanted to talk about is actually really sad. We have a Let's Go family member who is currently on the Koningsdam on their cruise to Alaska, and they said that last night there was, the captain announced this morning, so it would have been yesterday morning, that the Coast Guard was still searching, but there was a crew member who apparently went overboard, and it says that she said she heard it was a member of the band from the B.B. King, and so that hit my heart extra hard, because when I was just on the Koningsdam, I got to go to the B.B. King music there. They play jazz music, and really, really a good band, and so a bright light went out of the world. And reading about it, I saw in some news stories that they think from camera footage that the person went over on their own. So you're probably wondering, why am I telling you this sad news? Well, a couple of reasons. First of all, I was hoping that we could all pray for their family. Whether you pray or send good thoughts, however you do that, I thought that their family could sure use this at this time, because that's really hard. I know that we never know what tomorrow holds for anyone. So I was hoping that we could pray. And another thing that I thought of was, I hope that we will all maybe just take this as a reminder to take extra good care of each other. I know that a lot of times people have things that they're struggling with that we don't even know, but just to do the best we can to take good care of each other. So thank you for letting me share this with you, and I hope that you will pray, or like I said, send good thoughts, whatever it is that you do for the family of this person. And it just made me really sad, and so I wanted to let you know about that. Now, yesterday in my video that I talked about the updates that were on the Princess website, and I got so many questions in the comments that I even just tucked a link in a couple of them there to give people the link to where to read about that. And so let me tell you this a little bit here, and then we're going to talk about some more protocols and what's going on with a couple of other cruise lines as well. So first of all, when you are going to sail on Princess, like I always say, I try to give you this information here to help you get started, but I think it's really important that you read through things so that you know what to expect. And if I got anything wrong, boy, I would want you to find out that I had gotten it wrong. And so when you go to princess.com, across the top of the screen it brings you to there, it has like this dark grayish, dark gray, dark black banner, and one of the things that you can click on there is health protocols. And so when you click on that, it takes you to another page where you can select if you want health protocols for sailings from the US and Canada, for sailings from the United Kingdom, for sailings for Europe, and for sailings from Australia. And when you click on each of those individual headings, then it brings up what the protocols are for those sailings. They are tremendously simplified from what they were when we first had the restart. They were long, and then so yesterday I told you about the update that had come out late on August 8th. So that came out on Monday afternoon. Well, yesterday late afternoon, I noticed that they had another update for the sailings from the United Kingdom, and so I looked through it, and just so you know, they really have just clarified their language there. They've taken out a lot of fluff, and so I just wanted to let you know about that. And I'm going to go through here. I could even just do it right now. I wanted to make sure that everybody is just super clear on what the testing and information is for all of these different sailings. It'll just take me a couple of minutes here to tell you, and so if you don't want to know, of course Gordon's putting chapters in, but if you're thinking of sailing, I think it's important to know what you're looking at right now and what to expect. And so as far as the vaccination and testing requirements, if you're sailing from the United States or from Canada, it says that you need to be To be considered fully vaccinated, you need to have your vaccines plus any booster that you're eligible for, and you can do your antigen test within 2 days. Otherwise, if you've just received a vaccine but not your boosters, you can go ahead and have 3 days to do your antigen test. And then if you are not vaccinated, you need to do a PCR test within 3 days, and then they're going to do another antigen test at the terminal. Now, if you're fully vaccinated with that booster, or you are vaccinated and you don't want to do an antigen test, you want to do the PCR, you get 3 days for that as well. So that's really important. And be aware that that across the board, boosters are not required, but certain sailings are, the passengers are being told that they need to have a booster. So I wanted to make sure you're aware of that. And then if you are on a voyage departing from Canada, it says that ages 5 years and up, of course, for all of these, you have to be vaccinated if you want to go to Canada, whether you want to fly in or whether you want to come on a cruise ship. If you're not fully vaccinated, then you have to have a medical exemption, and Canada is thorough with their medical exemptions. You don't just have a 2-sentence thing from your doctor saying they medically cannot be vaccinated. Canada is really particular about their medical exemptions, and so you have to be vaccinated. And then, of course, if you want to be fully vaccinated, that includes any boosters that you're eligible for. And then also, if you're not vaccinated, you are going to, and you've got that exemption, you're going to have to be tested for all of those. For whether you're vaccinated or fully vaccinated with that booster, you've got just 2 days for your antigen test, 3 days for a PCR test. If you're not vaccinated, you got to do that PCR test within 3 days, and they'll give you another antigen test at the terminal. Now, if you're going to sail from the United Kingdom, the big take-home message from the United Kingdom is that they're allowing people to just do their test on their own, and then a test at embarkation that they had a COVID test and that it was negative. And so that's the really big thing. But it's still really important to know that doing that, you still need to do that within 3 days of sailing. You can't do it a week out and then go attest. They want you to attest that you have done it within 3 days and that it is negative. So finally, the last one I'm going to tell you about are voyages departing from Europe. So from Europe, you need to do the antigen test or a PCR test within 3 days, whether you're fully vaccinated with that booster or whether you're just vaccinated. And then if you are not vaccinated, you've got that exemption, you get 3 days for your PCR, and they're going to do another antigen test at the terminal as well. Big news with Greece. Like I mentioned yesterday, don't forget, if you go to Greece and you want to get on a cruise ship, you have got to have your COVID test, your antigen test done within 2 days, or your PCR within 3 days, and it has to be proctored in person. A medical professional has to be right there and do the test with you. And so you cannot do the ones that we have just loved doing up until now, those eMed tests with the healthcare provider in a video call. Those are no longer acceptable, and they want you to have a printed out piece of paper with what your test results are. I do not know how long this is going to last. I think it's really interesting that we have been this far in the cruise season there in Greece without this change. So I guess I should have looked. I don't know. I'll try to remember to look for tomorrow if they've got an uptick in COVID cases in Greece. I don't know, but this is definitely tightening up. But be aware, I double checked, and to fly into Greece, you don't have to be vaccinated and you don't have to have a COVID test, just so you know. So it's actually a good option. You could just get it done right there at the airport if you're within that 2-day window to be able to sail. So I just wanted to make sure that everybody has a really good idea. And then for sailings from Australia, they want you to, of course, be vaccinated. And if you're vaccinated, you can do your antigen test within 24 hours or a PCR within 72 hours of embarkation. And you just have to attest that you took it and that it was negative. And then if you are not vaccinated there in Australia and you have got the exemption, because they do still require exemptions, you have to do your antigen test within 24 hours or a PCR within 72. So they are they go on the honor code there as well. So I just thought, I hope that this is helpful to you all. If you end up with any questions about this, put them in the comments below. It's just, like I said, you go to princess.com, across the top, click on health protocols. Okay, so I hope that that helps some of you. Now, the next thing that I wanted to talk to you about is just really kind of a caveat here, a warning. You know what? Be really careful right now with Royal Caribbean and Celebrity with your vaccine exemptions, because we are hearing pretty much everything. The other day, I read to you, was it Saturday? I was telling you about how we had a Let's Go family member who was going to be sailing on. I have received it from several people on both Celebrity and on Royal Caribbean, saying that exemptions are no longer required. It's the official deal. They're going to be going on these sailings. I have a client right now that is looking to sail in December on Celebrity, and they were told that they have to have that vaccination. So we have submitted everything, but we have not gotten the answer back yet. And then I've had a Let's Go family member said, let's see, I reserved Royal Caribbean Harmony of the Seas and was told that no vaccine was required. I just called and was told that no one should have told me that. And so she says the supervisor didn't care, just kept reading the transcript on the computer. And so, you know what, I just tell you this, I don't really know what the correct answer is. I would say just be really, really careful. Be so careful. If you book a cruise with Royal Caribbean, like, submit your information and ask for an exemption. I would absolutely do that. It's vaxaccommodations@rccl.com. Same web address for Royal Caribbean and for Celebrity, because Celebrity is owned by Royal Caribbean, and that one department does it for both cruise lines. And so just go ahead and submit it and then wait for them to send something back. Don't book a Royal Caribbean or a Celebrity cruise and think you're going to just show up at the port without an exemption, without a letter saying that you don't need one, because I would feel really bad for you, because you never know what they're going to expect. And so I felt like that was worth telling all of you, because we are hearing so many different things, and it doesn't even seem to be uniform across like regions of where the sailings are. And so just be very, very careful with that. And then also someone asked, so I wanted to ask you all, so in the comments, will you tell me, like, how close to a Princess cruise has your cruise been canceled? We have people who were going to be, as we all know, I feel so bad. So many of you had your Diamond Princess cruises canceled. We've got a Let's Go family member. They are booked to sail on the Sapphire Princess October 4th on a 15-day to Hawaii. And they are wondering, they're hoping it goes, and I really hope it goes. You know, our Let's Go family member, Holly, said maybe they're taking all of the the crew. Well, see, this is a good discussion. Tell me what you think too. So maybe they're taking some of the crew from the Diamond Princess, moving it to the Sapphire Princess, so the Sapphire Princess can still sail. But at the same time, they only canceled the cruises through November 13th on the Diamond Princess. And so they've got to have somebody to sail the ship and run it for everything, starting with the cruises immediately following that. And that's not really that far out. So let me know what you think is going on with that. And also tell us how close to an actual cruise your cruise has been canceled. Okay, would love to hear about that, and maybe it will help inform some people that have some cruises booked and are a little concerned if they're going to get to go. Now, I also wanted to tell you, these are some other kind of random things. I get a lot of questions still about the ArriveCan. So when you're doing the ArriveCan, I honestly think it's just equally, I would do it on my phone if I had the option. It is super easy to do on your computer. It's super easy to do on your phone. The nice thing about doing it on your phone is that you've got your app, on your phone. And then if you go somewhere that you're on the cruise ship and then you'll be going into Canada, it is just so easy to be able to do that on your phone and not have to take your laptop if you weren't going to take it anyway, or use a computer somewhere. So I would say do it that way. When you do it, you just fill out your information, upload a photo of your passport, upload a photo of your vaccine card. And when I say upload, one of the options is just to take a picture of it with your phone during that process. It is really, really easy. And then other than that, you just enter some random information. I do know that if you're going to go on a cruise, you put the ship as the place where you're going to quarantine. But other than that, it is really easy. And then coming back in, you just select where you're coming back in and try to pick the right place, and from, like, it'll say like Vancouver, and then it lists some things. And so I just chose the thing that sounded most like the port, and it worked just fine. And so that is really it. I really don't want you worrying about it. Somebody asked me about if you're on the cruise ship, how are you going to do it? You can use the Wi-Fi on the cruise ship. And remember this, if you're on the cruise ship and you have any trouble with it, go down to customer service, and they will either help you right there, or they will refer you to where you should go on the ship to get help with it. But don't be worried. You don't have to worry about getting on the ship, not knowing how to do it or anything like that. They will help you, okay? But do keep in mind, if you're going on any of those sailings that visit Canada, leave from Canada, arrive in Canada, you're going to have to do it 72 hours before embarkation. Okay, so don't be stressed out about it. It's not very hard at all. The other thing that I wanted to talk to you about is, and I should have said this earlier, I just wanted to let you know that Holland America also updated their protocols just to simply reflect those new requirements there in Greece. Okay, so Holland America is on board with that your COVID test has got to be proctored in person by the medical professional. 2 more things I want to tell you. And so finally, you know what? It snowed in Denali National Park yesterday. Our Let's Go family member, Maya, she posted, I hope I said that right, she posted beautiful photos. So if you're not in our Facebook group, you got to join us just for the photos. They are spectacular. So beautiful. And so I just thought you might like to know that. It's just Let's Go Travel Tips. You just request to join, and Gordon will just let you right in. Another update that I have for you, which really might inform the way you think of things, is Royal Caribbean is posting good earnings, and they say that they have increased the price for a lot of things that are on board the ship. It sounds like almost everything the price is increased on that's available on board. But the thing that I thought was so interesting, I did not realize this about their marketing. So they started off talking about how strong onboard sales are. Just people are spending money way more than they used to on board the ship. And so I thought it was really interesting. I didn't know really how the cruise lines think of some of, passengers when they're thinking of their marketing. It says, we continue to focus our market-leading bundling offers and increase quality touch points with our guests starting from the time they book to capture even more revenue pre-cruise, allowing guests to arrive on board with an ever fresher wallet, which ultimately results in higher overall spending. So in other words, if they can sell you things like when you're still at home, like your beverage package, your spa package, or specialty dinings, anything that they can sell you there, then that means that you've paid for that and you arrive on board feeling like you can spend even more money. So it says, in fact, our pre-cruise revenue on a per day basis for the second quarter of 2022 is up over 50% over where it was in 2019. It says, at a high level, guests who make pre-cruise purchases tend to spend approximately double that of guests who do not make pre-cruise purchases. Now, I just thought that was very interesting. Of course, you can make pre-cruise purchases, and of course, you don't have to make pre-cruise purchases, but I thought it was a very interesting trend. I thought it was an interesting analysis, and I thought that if you're trying to stick with a budget, you might want to think about that. And decide what you're going to do. But I thought it was really interesting how very specifically the cruise lines market to us. And I know they do. I have known that for a long time. I am sure they have got like a star by some things for my name. But I just thought you would find that really interesting. And I hope that all of you are having a great day. I hope that you are looking forward to a cruise sometime, whether it's now, whether you're thinking you might go in 10 years or any time in between. Would love to have you with us. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please do subscribe. I do my best to keep you up to date on what the protocols are and what's going on in cruising, and I'd love to have you with us. If you appreciate these updates, would you please give this video a thumbs up, because that really does help us out. I'll be talking to you all again really soon. You all take really good care. God bless you. Love you. Bye-bye.